also I have osteoporosis. I've been prescribed medication for it, and I'm still dragging my heels on taking it. It's in my the head of the femur. You mentioned just now about the Vitex and the Bible leaf and Sullivan seal.
Yeah, Sullivan seal is an herb that you'd have to go on Amazon to get. Get it in capsule, not in a tincture, and then take 3 capsules, probably, I mean, at least once a day, if not twice a day.
Okay, twice a day.
Yeah.
But then you mentioned something about the 3 wise men and frankincense.
Yeah, so like that can also be a thing, and the issue with osteoporosis, and like even like you said, like your body's not feeling good, is, you know, there's 3 systems that I always like look at and evaluate. Well, really you could say 4, but the 3 that always are the make sure they're okay is immune system, nervous system, and endocrine system. And usually the endocrine system is last on the list of like things to look at. And, you know, just as you get older, it just doesn't quite function like it should. You don't produce as many hormones like you normally would, you know, just things start to diminish. And so you could say like the youthfulness that we have would be our ability to reduce inflammation as we age, our ability to keep the nervous system from going down weird rabbit holes, and like, you know, keeping the vagus nerve healthy, you know, keeping certain things like healthy with the nervous system. And the inflammatory response is tied more to the immune system, but then having all the glands function, you know, better than they were, all of that slows down the aging process, makes you feel better, makes you a little bit more lively. Like, you know, it's just, it starts to be more a little bit about like quality of life and things like that. So the combination of frankincense and myrrh, good for, it's not a pain reliever, but it is good for pain syndromes. It's good for inflammatory syndromes. It does, you know, the myrrh hits the opioid receptors in the brain and is very calming and soothing to the limbic system. Frankincense hits the precursors that eventually turn into inflammation. So, you know, you kind of are getting a 1-2 punch there. And then the combination is very fortifying and stimulating to the endocrine system. And the endocrine system has to do with a lot of like how you feel overall, but also some of your mental faculties, like your some of your mental processes are endocrine function passing through like the brain or how it communicates with the nervous system. And so if the endocrine system isn't very strong, then it kind of throws off like mental processes a little bit. Like you just don't quite cognitively process things a little bit, which means you kind of go into a little bit more of like automatic behavior, automatic thinking, like reactive thinking, you know. And so by doing it, you're not really treating brain fatigue per se, but you are improving the quality of how you feel and how you are able to interact with the environment. But it does clear the mind up a bit. Like clear up the mind, that's probably not the best way to say it. Clear up the mind. Like it strengthens the mind, if that makes sense. It just makes you be able to process more information quickly, or I'm not doing that justice. Process. Not quickly, but it just, you know, like when somebody presents you with a situation or a problem and you're just like, okay, I got to figure this out, and then there's times where you're like, God, I don't even have the juice to think this out. I don't know. Like, like you almost like you don't have the juice in your legs, but for your mind.
Yep.
It's not so much about speed. It's just like, I don't have the juice to go through these steps.
Yes.
Like the frankincense and myrrh gives you the juice to go, okay, I can think this out. Might not be faster or whatever, but I can sit and think it out without like just going, forget it, just do whatever. And so frankincense and myrrh have spiritual components too. I mean, they help with cerebral spinal fluid circulation. I mean, they do so many things together, and it's a very simple blend, but it's very potent. And if you take it daily for a period of time, you'll notice like I am feeling better and I'm getting up and doing stuff more than what I used to, where you're just like, every time I got to get up, I just, some of that can be hormonal, and it could be a excessive amounts of stress, of cortisol, of all kinds of things that impact the body, and the frankincense and myrrh just helps to offset that. The reason that the three wise men give it to Christ is, when he's born, is for a body to handle a great soul, it puts the body through a tremendous amount of stress, like a tremendous amount of stress levels that we don't even comprehend. And so part of that gift was so that the body could be tempered faster to handle the energy of a great soul. And so we can take a lesson from that, like, it's to offset the stress, it's to make sure that the glands are working, it's making sure that the inflammation is reduced, it's stimulating cerebral spinal fluid circulation, and all those things. Those three systems right there are very, very important. And being able to keep the body in an adaptive state sometimes takes a little bit of work. And the frankincense and myrrh together is very much a very strong tool for that process. Be it that it's stress from normal everyday life, or a spiritual practice, or high meditations. They feel good mentally and emotionally, but they're a little bit hard on the body. They're hard on the body. It is what it is. It breaks the body down. It makes the body not always respond well. Because if you think about it, those deep states of meditation to the body feel like the dying process. So the body then goes into red alert. We got to double down to protect the body so that the body stays alive. And so sometimes those deep states are great, and then a little bit later the body goes into a little bit of like a response. And so that's why even using the plants the way that we do, it's considered an accelerated process, because you're having those deep states and you're tempering the body's response very, very quickly. So you move through things much quicker than you would just through normal everyday life.
Okay. And is that the frankincense myrrh, is that one that you can take internally?
Yeah. I would say if for that, it needs to be internal. Yeah. So the three wise men is the thing that I use, but I mean, you could just do equal amounts of frankincense and myrrh, and that would be good too.
Okay. So three wise men that's what it is.
Three wise men is like half a dozen types or even more maybe of frankincense, and then a couple different kinds of myrrh. So
okay.
Yeah, it's like frankincense supreme and myrrh supreme meet, and create another blend.
All right. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
And then go ahead